Good morning, everybody. We are in John chapter 14, verse 15. So, right off the bat, we start with, "If you love me, keep my commandments." Now, if you love me, keep my commandments. I don't know, does that seem harsh or heavy? Or the truth is that's kind of the way every relationship works. If you love your spouse, you don't do the things that hurt them. You don't do the things that upset them. Love is a sacrificial act that we do. It's something that we do that comes at a cost to ourselves, and we do it towards another. If we love Jesus, we wouldn't do the things that upset him. We wouldn't do the things that offend him. We wouldn't do the things that break his heart, because he knows the things that aren't good for us. And so he says it simply: if we really love him, we'll be keeping his commandments. We'll be listening to the things he's told us. And we'll be trying our best to keep them. And like in every marriage, it's not perfect. I'm not going to always please my wife. I'm not going to always be able to do everything she wants. But out of love, I continue to try to do those things as best as I can. And he says, "And I will pray the Father, and he will give you another helper, that he may abide with you forever, the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it neither sees him nor knows him. But you know him, for he dwells with you and will be in you. I will not leave you orphans. I will come to you." And so here we start seeing the more specific promises of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. In other places, Jesus had already mentioned the living water, and he had mentioned how much more will the Father give the Holy Spirit to those who ask of him. But now he's starting to describe the Holy Spirit. And he says it very plainly that at this point, the Holy Spirit was with them, but soon he would be in them. Here we get our Greek prepositions para and en. Para, para, is with. The Holy Spirit is with everyone. The Holy Spirit is all around us. He's in everything in the sense that he's everywhere, but truly he's only inside of believers. He's para, with them at this time, but soon the Holy Spirit would be en, in the believers. If you flip forward to John chapter 20, verse 22, and by 20 I meant 20. My pages are all stuck on this Bible. There we go. Let's see here. 2022, am I right? And he said, yep. Okay. And when he had said this, he breathed on them and said to them, "Receive the Holy Spirit." So that's the point where the Holy Spirit came in to them. But then in Acts chapter 1, we see where he tells them that you should wait, but tarry in Jerusalem. It says, Acts chapter 1, "But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you." We read in Luke's gospel also where it tells them to tarry in Jerusalem. Wait in Jerusalem until the Holy Spirit comes upon you. And that's a third preposition, epi. And that means upon. It's something different than just being inside you. And so this is just such a critical teaching. I teach it all the time because it's just a good reminder for us that God offers more than just being sealed by the Spirit. He also offers a supernatural empowering with the Spirit. And you can have the whole Holy Spirit inside of you, sealing you. He doesn't give his Holy Spirit out in portions, and yet it doesn't mean that you are accessing and receiving in faith all that the Holy Spirit could and would desire to do through you. And he says, I'm not going to leave you an orphan. And it reminds these disciples who had been with Jesus physically that spiritually and through the power of the Spirit, Jesus would still be with them. Yesterday, we talked about the Trinity, and we talked about how I and my Father are one. I think that was yesterday. Yeah, I think it was. And it talks about how Jesus and the Father, they're one and the same. Jesus and the Spirit, one and the same. The Spirit and the Father, one and the same. And so Jesus in his physical form would be leaving, but Jesus would be there in the form of the Holy Spirit. And so his Spirit would be with them. He would not leave them orphans. He would leave them with his power. And so then it says that I will come to you. And so we have this promise now that he's going away, but a good reminder, he's coming back. And as we read at the beginning of John 14, he's coming back to get us so that we can be where he is. Where is he right now? Well, he's in heaven. And John 14 tells us that he's going to take us to be back with him in heaven at a later date. Can we make it a little further? I'm sure we can. Verse 19 says, a little while longer and the world will see me no more, but you will see me. Because I live, you will live also. You see, the world, they don't get the Holy Spirit. They don't understand the supernatural things of God. They don't sense his presence the same way. But we see, we get it. Often people say, show me and then I'll believe. Whereas the Bible teaches, believe and then I'll show you. Because I live, you will live also. That is the verse that brought Ravi Zacharias to salvation as he was in the hospital after attempting suicide as a young man. He read that verse, because I live, you will live also. It's a special verse and a great verse. At that day you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. He who has my commandments and keeps them, it is he who loves me. And he who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love him and manifest myself to him. So again, it's that relationship of obedience and love, and our relationship with Jesus. If you want to have Jesus manifested to you, that's being made real, right? The idea is Jesus Christ real in your life? Is his presence truly transforming you? Is his presence comforting you? Is he bringing you peace that surpasses understanding? Do you have a boldness and a confidence? Do you have a heart for lost souls? You see, Jesus will manifest himself to you when we are obedient to him. He who has my commandments and keeps them, it is he who loves me. Now, doing those things doesn't make the love happen. The love makes those things happen. It's love that makes us want to obey. When we truly are in love, we want to obey him. And so he keeps making mention of this, that there's that connection between love and obedience. It's hard to convince your wife that you love her when you're committing adultery against her. You're in an affair, but you say you love her and you want to do all these things for her, but truly, unless you stop breaking the rules that you know you ought not break, then it's hard to really say you love your wife. Now Judas, not Judas Iscariot, said to him, Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us and not to the world? Jesus answered and said to him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. He who does not love me does not keep my words, and the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father's who sent me. So again, it's those who obey out of love, those who obey not because of religious tradition, not out of just personal tradition, like this is what we do, but out of a love, they search the scriptures and they find out more about what is the desire and heart of God and how can I fulfill that in my life. It's those people who are going to have a joy that is out of this world and not of this world, because Jesus says him and the Father, they make their home in that person. It's that person who has the living God inside their hearts. And that's the kind of person we all ought to desire to be. So, search the scriptures, continue to grow and learn. And every time we're challenged by something that seems a little hard to do, just try and love God more and see if He will help you to do it. God bless you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.